maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't.
That's pretty much the exact crossroads I've been at lately. Because it's like, you know, I'll get messages from people being like, hey, you know, thank you so much. I've made this amount of money. It's like, it's cool seeing those messages. But what I've realized recently, especially with making these YouTube videos, is I get more joy out of someone saying, you had me dying laughing,
right,
than you made me this amount of money.
Right.
And so I've been thinking about that a lot. So it's funny you bring that up. It's like, which way do I go? Do I go where it's like, you know, helping people make money, or like joy? And bringing joy to someone else brings joy to myself.
And that's interesting you bring that up, and I'll let people know, right? I thought a million, like I'm a thinker. I sit and think a lot. I'm a homebody. Like ask my dogs, like really Ben's the only person who can really get me out of the house right now. But like I really thought money, like when I was broke, like poor, I was like, dude, $1 million is going to change my life. Like, dude, if I just had $1 million, I would just be on, like life would be great. And $1 million later, it's like, I had like a little moment 6 months ago where I really was not in a good spot, just mentally. I felt like depressed. And I was like, why do I feel depressed? It's because the goalpost kept moving, right? So I hit $1 million, you know, you make $1 million, and then you're like, okay, like it's $5 million now, and then $10 million. And then I can only imagine once I hit those milestones and those goals, it's like, okay, like $30 million, $100 million. And it kind of depressed me for a while because it's like, shit. Like I remember thinking like, dude, $1 million, like how ecstatic would I be if I had that? And once I got that, I was like, oh, like, like, okay, your lifestyle changes. You're not worried about like, okay, what kind of food you're going to eat. Like obviously certain problems that are like really tough when you're poor are like not the same problems that like are going on now. But then it's like more stress, bro, more bills, more things to pay, like more people looking to you for help or expectations from your friends. And so like it can be overwhelming. It can be a lot. People don't understand that as much. I mean, obviously people who've been successful do, but I do have a motto. Money, obviously now I can tell you that I know it's not everything. Like there's so much more to life and being happy than money, but I still stand by this. If you don't have any money, minus like, again, people are different, but I just can't imagine working 8 hours a day and 9 to 5 and then saying money isn't important or isn't everything when I'm dedicating 8 to 9, 10 hours of my day slaving away for money. You know what I mean? Like you got to have money to realize money isn't everything. But like some people will be like, you know, living in a freaking shoebox, like money isn't everything. And like, okay, like I understand that. And some people like, you know, the in the wild guy, like, you know, guys can just go out and live on the, like, kudos to you. I got mad respect for it. I wish I could do that. But it's like, you can't just work. You can't be miserable working a job every single day and then tell yourself, look, money isn't everything. Because like, if I'm looking at your life and the time that you're awake and like functioning, if you're working half the time, like a job that like you not necessarily enjoy for the paycheck, then I would assume that money is everything in your life right now. And you need to fix whatever issue that is to really get to the next step. I feel like financial freedom is important for people. Like life, I know this really well. I worked for 2 years, bro. You know what I mean? Like legit 5 days a week, hustling, grinding, no friends. Like people who really know me know, bro. Like Eric, you might know, bro, I disappeared. Like you did not find me. Like, no, my best friends, bro. I cut off my best friends because our priorities weren't aligned. And I knew I just had to be where I needed to be. And so like, you have to be willing to make those sacrifices, this whole pulling up and like hanging out with your, like, if you're not doing stuff, if you're not being productive, like I understand living your life and being free and all that stuff. But like, dude, you've got the abyss that not having money can put you in is a really tough one. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like I can pull myself out of a depression. I can pull myself out of a bad day. Cause like I humble myself. I realize like, dude, life could be way worse for me right now. And so that stuff really helps, but I can only imagine for people that can't say that, like, you know what I mean? That type of like success has helped me also from like really going over the edge and going over the border, and the fact that I could be like, look, like be grateful, be humble, like this stuff, like help, you know, I don't know. These two hats are for you, by the way.
Thank you very much, because I actually saw Lil Uzi wear this one in the first video he did with a Rockstar Life. Yeah. So I really like this hat for sure. I'm going to switch it out right now.
Yes, sir.
So when you said going from not having money to having money, what do you think the biggest difference has been? Because I have my own theory on this. I want to hear yours first, but it's definitely not even close to what I was expecting would be the biggest difference.
I mean, the biggest difference, I would say the biggest difference, it's a funny one, is the food.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you, man, because when I was broke, bro, I was literally eating McDonald's. Like I had a thing, like I had a $5 budget because for me, going to work and making $15 an hour, I would be freaking crazy. And people disagree with me all day. Like I know plenty of people who are going to listen to this and be like, you're nuts, dude. But I was like, dude, if I'm spending any more than $5 a day on lunch, like, dude, I'm only making $80 in the day. So if you're telling me I'm spending like $15, $20 of my paycheck that I just spent the whole day on my lunch, like you were bananas. You know what I mean? I was in stack or starve, bro. I was working. I was living at my mom's house. I was like, yo, I'm going to work and save all this money. So I had a $5 budget for food. And so like now I don't even think about like money for food, right? But the food is something that changed. I guess the girls, we live in island from LA. So like a lot of these girls are materialistic and like, dude, girls, I mean, I wouldn't say girls wouldn't look at me, but it's like, yo, like the girl that I wanted, like, you know what I mean? The girl that you want, like knows her worth, knows her value, like, you know, in this city, like she knows that she's that girl. So she's going to go with the Scott Hilse in the Hollywood Hills home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's not going to go with skater Luca with ripped shoes, ripped hoodie, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So the girls changed a little bit, but I didn't have a problem getting girls before, but like being content with like the girls that, yeah. What about you? What would your...
The thing that surprised me the most is I felt like I'm the same person for the 2 years. Yeah, I mean, I buy different things. I might wear different things, but I've always stayed true to who I am. I'm never going to be the suit and tie guy who like, you know, you see a lot of people who really don't know what they're talking about, get a little success, and then all of a sudden they're talking like this, as if they hold all the secrets to the world, and they start like acting different, like all sorts of weird things. But I was from the beginning, like I said, when I met Ben, he said, it all goes back to just keeping it real. Always, no matter what, keep it real. So when I finally started having success, I started realizing the main difference in my life is people's perspective on me. Therefore, when I say certain things, their perspective of it is different. Like, for example, if I'm at my friend's house and I go and we get an ad on YouTube, I'm like, oh, you don't have the YouTube Red? Mm-hmm. I would have said that when I had like $10 in my account.
Right.
But now that I'm saying it now, they kind of take it as like, well, we don't have as much as money you, Scott. Or I remember a long time ago, this girl was coming to my house and it was like 105 degrees and she was driving with the windows down. She's like, oh, I just drove all the way here and the AC was broken. Oh, I'm just so sweaty. And I go, oh, no, she didn't say the AC was broken. She said, I'm just so sorry, I had the windows down. And I'm like, why didn't you use the AC? And she goes, my AC's broken. I don't have an i8 like you, Scott. So I get a lot of that too,
right?
Where it's like an instant comparison thing. And that's why I got out of the designer clothing. Like I fell down a rat hole with that.
You fall down that rat hole so quick. It's a waste of money.
Huge waste of money.
And I still fall for it to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Such a waste of money, dude.
It's the biggest waste of money. And then you kind of offer up like a perspective on someone who has never met you. If they never met you and you are wearing like Gucci, everything, Louis Vuitton, Balenciaga, they're gonna look at you differently.
Dude, I have a crazy story. I don't want to take too much of your time, but
take as much time as you want.
I think this is worth saying. I'm not gonna say who, because I'm not gonna be a cheese ball and be like, yo. But like, let's just say it's the like creme de la creme of like celebrities, right? Mm-hmm. We were. Oh my bad.
All good.
I was right when Patty moved. We moved into a house in LA. It was the first of many lawsuits we got into for our homes, but. We moved into a house in LA and he was like, yo, we're going to this one girl's house who's like, again, like one of the biggest in the world in like terms of like followers and shit like that. And I was like, sick. I pulled up, regular degular e-com dude, just the back end guy, you know? But like we're young, dude. We had a great time. There was like a good year, bro, where living with Patty, like, whoa, we had a blast. But we went to this house and nobody paid me any mind. And like we got basketball players there. We've got super like celebrities. Like I'm just like, okay, in the corner, no one's talking to me. I felt like I started observing, like I'm an observer. And I felt like I was out of place because like I didn't look the part. That's what I derived from that day. I literally go home and I spend like $5,000 on clothes, right? Gucci'd out, the whole nine. A few days later, we go back to the house. I'm fresh. Like I'm telling you, I'm like the freshest I've ever been in my life. What's your name, dude? Like, how are you doing? Like, what do you do? Like, you know what I mean? And that was like a huge aha moment. You see, for me, I really like genuinely to like the core of my body and like the core of my soul, like this whole materialistic, like penis size contest that everybody has, like is not really like what like motivates me, or it doesn't really fall into my values or my ethics. But unfortunately, in the business that I'm in, specifically in the town that I live in, like it's really hard for people, at least on first impressions, to really give you the chance if you don't look the part. I can't tell you how many times I've walked into a restaurant because I had an iced out watch or had a certain pair of shoes on, that somebody made a certain comment that led to a certain relationship that made me hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's happened a couple times, freakishly enough. And so it's kind of a battle in this city specifically, but with that stuff. And I tell myself all the time, like, yo, I need to be buying assets. Like, you know what I mean? Dude, that Gucci shirt that you just spent $500 for is now worth $50 on eBay the second you decide to liquidate. And like, dude, that stuff sucks. But then you also got to quantify it in certain situations where it's like, oh, you know. So I try to do in the watches. Watches for me are like my guilty pleasures, because watches appreciate. You know, obviously not necessarily as much as the diamond ones. The diamond ones depreciate, but like I like watches and I have like a watch collection. And so like that to me is like where I try to spend my money, or shoes. Cause you know, we have the shoe store now too.
Right. Cookies and Kicks, right?
Yeah. Shout out Cookies and Kicks, best shoe store in Los Angeles. If you get your shoes from anywhere else, we're not cool.
Do you have a certain way to like write off your diamond watches and jewelry?
Yeah, for sure. So, and it's like, dude, I have all my watches up for sale on a website, on a Shopify. Anytime you can go and buy it. I mean, to me, it's inventory. So you can derive what you want out of that, but it's inventory, dude. I'm selling that stuff. Moving money. And the thing is about watches, they appreciate, bro. Like I just sold like a double quick presidential gold. I made like $4,000 on it. I bought it a year ago. Yeah. It's like little things like that. People don't understand, like there's little things you can do, like putting your money in a Wealthfront account, or like downloading Acorns, or like, you know, Robinhood. And like me and you have been talking about, like you have to make your money work for you. Like one thing that I'm really like against now is a big available cash balance. Like I'm not into that stuff anymore. Like I used to be like, okay, let's stack the Wells Fargo account. But like, what does that do? Like you take that against inflation and everything. And it's like, bro, you're losing money every year. You just don't know it. You know what I mean? So now all my money is in a Wealthfront, which gives you 2% a year just for having your money sit there, because the banks make money on your money, right? Mm-hmm. So now tech startups are coming up, Wealthfront, the biggest one. And they're basically just letting you, like, you know, put your money in there, and they'll give you the interest that they make on your money, you know, minus some, because they're still a bank. They still have to make money on your money, but they'll let you reap the rewards of what they do as a bank. Yeah. So now it's like, okay, I'm making 2% on that. You have the Acorn stuff, which is like, dude, I literally forgot about my Acorns for 2 years, and I pulled it up about 6 months ago, and I had like 60 G's in there.
Jeez.
I was blown away. I was like, okay, like thank God for Acorns. You know what I mean? It's just little stuff like that. Like it's a two-way thing, right? You also have to make money. You have to make sure that like you're in good standing with the IRS, the whole nine, but your money has to be making you money. I'm a huge stock guy, huge, you know, any type of investment, whether it's real estate, whether it's a rental property, whether it's a Bitcoin or a Tesla or a, you know, Goldman Sachs, whatever it may be. I'm a huge avid believer in making your money work for you. And I'll be honest with you,